Leadership is not a position, it's a progression. In the 5 levels of leadership, John C. Maxwell reveals that true leadership develops through 5 distinct stages. Each level represents a deeper connection, greater influence, and higher purpose. The journey begins with authority and ends with legacy. Leadership is not about titles or recognition, it's about growth. Every great leader climbs these levels step by step, proving that influence is earned through action, respect, and consistent character over time. The first level is position. Here, leadership begins with a title. People follow because they have to, not because they want to. It's the foundation, but also the weakest form of leadership. Positional leaders rely on rules instead of relationships. They demand compliance rather than inspire commitment. Maxwell teaches that while this level gives authority, it lacks loyalty. The key is not to stay here. It's to use this platform to grow toward genuine connection and trust. The second level is permission. This is where leadership becomes personal. People follow because they want to, not because they must. Relationships become the bridge of influence. Leaders listen, care, and create trust. Maxwell emphasizes that connection precedes direction. Without permission, even the best vision falls flat. True leadership is built on empathy and respect. When people feel valued, they give more than effort. They give loyalty. Permission turns management into mentorship and authority into authentic influence. Which leader in your life earned your trust through care and connection, not position or power? Share your reflection in the comments. It might inspire someone else to lead differently. The third level is production. Here, results begin to define reputation. People follow because of what the leader accomplishes. Credibility is earned through consistent performance. This level transforms teams because success creates momentum, and momentum inspires belief. Maxwell explains that production leaders model excellence. They don't just talk about it. Their achievements attract talent, motivate teams, and build confidence. The danger, however, is pride. Forgetting that leadership isn't about personal success, but shared progress. The fourth level is people development. Great leaders don't just create followers, they create other leaders. At this stage, influence multiplies through mentorship. Maxwell calls this the level of reproduction. The measure of success shifts from what the leader achieves to what others achieve under their guidance. Empowerment becomes the mission. Leaders invest time, trust, and training into their teams. They see potential before others do. When people grow, organizations grow. Legacy begins long before a leader leaves. The fifth and highest level is pinnacle. This is leadership by respect, character, and legacy. People follow not because of position, relationship, or results, but because of who the leader is and what they represent. Pinnacle leaders inspire beyond their lifetime. They create cultures of growth, values, and purpose that endure without their presence. Maxwell teaches that this level cannot be demanded. It is bestowed by those who witness integrity over years. Leadership at the pinnacle becomes transformation in motion. Each level requires humility. You can't climb through arrogance or entitlement. Growth demands reflection, feedback, and courage to face your own flaws. Maxwell reminds us that leadership isn't linear, it's dynamic. You can operate at different levels with different people. The goal is to keep moving upward, becoming the kind of leader others choose to follow. The higher you climb, the more your focus shifts from personal ambition to collective elevation and service. Maxwell warns that many leaders stop growing because they confuse authority with mastery. Titles create comfort, and comfort kills curiosity. To grow as a leader, we must constantly challenge assumptions, relearn lessons, and refine habits. True leaders remain students forever. The most dangerous phrase in leadership is, "I already know." The best leaders say, "I'm still learning." Humility keeps the ladder standing. Without it, every level collapses under ego's weight. Growth requires both confidence and curiosity. Another key lesson is that leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. Influence can't be demanded. It must be developed. Every interaction builds or breaks it. Maxwell teaches that influence is the compounding interest of character. Small acts of integrity, consistency, and care over time create immense credibility. People don't follow perfection. They follow authenticity. Leadership grows when words and actions align. Trust is the invisible thread connecting every level of the leadership journey. Leaders must balance results with relationships. A leader obsessed only with performance burns people out. One focused only on relationships loses direction. Maxwell calls this the leadership paradox. People need both challenge and care. The best leaders stretch potential without breaking spirit. They expect excellence, but deliver empathy. The balance between results and relationships defines leadership maturity. Success built without connection is shallow. Connection without standards is weak. Real leaders build both with equal devotion. The book also highlights that leadership demands intentionality. No one drifts to greatness. Growth must be chosen, scheduled, and sustained. Maxwell emphasizes daily discipline over dramatic effort. Small habits, listening, planning, reflecting, mentoring, build extraordinary leaders. There are no shortcuts to influence. The climb requires patience, perseverance, and practice. The greatest leaders aren't those who move the fastest, but those who move with purpose. Leadership is not about speed. It's about direction and endurance. Maxwell also explains that leadership is service. The higher we rise, the more we serve. True power uplifts others. False power suppresses them. Servant leadership is not weakness, it's wisdom. When leaders place people before ego, they gain impact that outlasts authority. Service transforms teams into communities. Leaders who serve with authenticity inspire fierce loyalty and collaboration. Service doesn't lower status, it multiplies it. The most respected leaders are remembered not for control, but for contribution. Leadership also requires emotional intelligence. Maxwell notes that leaders without empathy create fear, not followership. Emotional awareness allows leaders to navigate conflict, motivate others, and adapt under pressure. Great leaders regulate emotions instead of reacting to them. They listen deeply, respond thoughtfully, and stay grounded in chaos. Emotional intelligence builds stability, the anchor of trust in turbulent times. Leadership is not about appearing invincible. It's about being self-aware enough to remain steady for others. The book reminds us that leadership at every level starts with self-leadership. You can't lead others if you can't lead yourself. Maxwell teaches that personal discipline, self-respect, and clarity of values form the roots of influence. The hardest person to lead is always the one in the mirror. Growth begins when leaders hold themselves accountable to the same standards they set for others. Mastering self-leadership creates authenticity, and authenticity creates authority that inspires without effort. Maxwell emphasizes mentorship as the multiplier of leadership. Legacy is not built through achievement, but through empowerment. The true measure of leadership is not how many people follow you, but how many leaders you create. Great mentors invest in others with patience and belief. They see beyond potential. They cultivate it. Every leader is a bridge for the next generation. Legacy is not left behind. It lives on in every person you've elevated to lead. The ultimate message of the 5 levels of leadership is that greatness in leadership is not about reaching the top, but about lifting others as you climb. Leadership is a lifelong journey of learning, serving, and evolving. Each level tests a different part of character: humility, discipline, empathy, and courage. Maxwell reminds us that true leadership doesn't demand followers. It creates them willingly. The higher we climb, the more we realize leadership is love in action.